Rajasthan Royals, as we touch the 2 hour mark on this extensive, exhaustive coverage of ours, 62 crore is a decent purse to have. Sanju Samson is their appointed captain. Joss Butler, very well be England captain by the time the IPL comes up. Who's to say? Yashasvi Jaiswal as well as an uncapped player who's good for them at the top of the order last season. They've got 1, 2, 3 almost sorted going into this auction. Lots of talk on whether Jofra Archer would actually hang on with the franchise in spite of the uncertainty around his fitness. But that's where we stand with the Rajasthan Royals. GS, take us through the roadmap for Rajasthan.
So again, are they going to go behind English influence? We have to see. They've picked a lot of England players. Always they back them. The likes of Liam Livingston, the likes of Jofra Archer, Ben Stokes. So these are small influential factors in an auction, right? So you have a lot of people from that part of town. So I'm waiting to see again if that continues. I think you have to look beyond them as well. I know England are a good white ball team, but not many actually come and perform in the IPL as well. So they might want to look for someone else this time around. They did crack the spin department over the last 2-3 seasons. They would want to do that. They would go. It would be good for them to buy someone like Ravichandran Ashwin to kind of control the overs over there. They need some good spinners. So these kind of small decisions help you build a team, but it could go both ways, right? If you want a heavy England core, you want Liam Livingston now to. I think he's a great asset for any T20 team. The form he is in, he started bowling leggies as well. So I think Livingston would be maybe after Jason Holder. I also feel Livingston and Rabada may get around the same kind of prices because he offers multiple roles. We have to see if Rajasthan kind of get him back. They had a chance to retain him, but they didn't. So. These are decisions we have to see, wait and watch what kind of direction they go. Do they go behind the England players? Availability is a problem, which they faced last couple of seasons as well. Are they going to go invest on Indian youth? They did it with Riyan Parag. They did it with Yashasvi. Are they going to go that way? Very, very hard to guess, but these are the challenges for Rajasthan. The way they go about thinking, the way they recruit their overseas players is going to be key.
Ashwin and Rajasthan. I can't imagine it. Ashwin and Butler in the same team. How much fun is that going to be? Right. Let's ask Akash Chopra, who I know, Akash, when we were discussing Rajasthan, especially when their season started going south. You were very vociferously critical of a number of things because I think that whole they're a team that invests in youth and whatnot. It's gotten a bit stale, hasn't it? It's not yielded in success. It almost never yields in success. That's not like they're up there and they fall short. So there are a lot of things that Rajasthan, like Punjab, also need to get right at this web auction, don't they?
Absolutely. In fact, if Ashwin is with Joss, at least no run out at the non-striker end. That is taken care of. Okay, Nets, nobody stands there. It's all right. But when you talk about, Rajasthan started as like a Moneyball team, right? That we're not going to spend a lot and therefore we'll get lesser known players, which is absolutely fine. It's a great strategy if you can succeed. They succeeded first time around, then you keep punching above your weight once in a while. If you fall short, you don't feel bad. But once you start spending your entire purse, now you have to be accountable that are you actually investing in the right kind of players? So either you can go in a lesser known Indian player direction or a lesser known overseas player direction, like Darcy shot all those years ago. Or you go with established stars because they're all coming at the same price. It's not that you're saving a lot of money and therefore you're making at least savings, if not a great team. So now I think for the last 3 years, if that is anything to go by, it felt that there is Jofra Archer and then rest is their bowling attack. It was so dominated by just one guy. They had really like pop gun attack at the other. No great spinners, fast bowlers didn't really make themselves count. So you take care of Jofra and everything else was actually easy pickings. So 1, 2, 3 are sorted. I like their selections. I like their retentions. 1, 2, 3 are sorted. Your roadmap is clear. Now get a great bowling attack because eventually at Jaipur, it won't be 210 run kind of games. You're going to play 160 kind of games. It's not a 6-hitting ground. It's a 4-hitting venue. So when you keep those things in mind, build your bowling attack, which is not revolving around just one guy, get more quality there. And bowlers in this auction, they are available, whether they're spinners or they're fast bowlers.
Surely they've thought of that because they're the only team to have not retained a single bowler, spin or pace. Even Sunrisers managed an uncapped Indian bowler, but they've got to pick the entire bowling from scratch at this auction to the Rajasthan Royals. We tend to question the ownership over a period of years when management keeps changing, which has happened at the Rajasthan Royals. Dan, you also had the pleasure of working with them in the CPL. I wonder how that went. But tell us a bit more about the pressures of perhaps managing Rajasthan Royals or being a head coach there and how that affects teams at the auction.
Yeah, well, I think they do have a lot of input from ownership. I think that would be the most polite way to put it. I think that they influence a lot of what's going on there, and in a lot of ways, I suppose because they've had a revolving door around coaches, they've never really had a philosophy or anything consistent at the ground level. So the playing group has sort of been left behind because they're not sure what management is doing every year, and they've had some great coaches, but they just haven't been there very long. So it's very difficult for them to actually implement anything. So I know it's a fresh start with Sangakkara, and he's obviously a hugely respected cricketing mind, and his ability to influence an auction and stamp, I suppose, his mark on it will be the key, because we talk about the Moneyball aspect, but they've actually had really poor auctions, and when they've come out of it, you haven't really sure what direction they're going. They've gone crazy on one or two players at the end of an auction. Like I think of Gotham a few years ago, they spent big on Steve Smith when he probably wasn't at the top of his game as a T20 player. So it's been really, I suppose, befuddling where they're heading with their franchise. But they have some good players that they've retained, so that's a great starting point. I wonder if they need to add some actually experienced Indian players to the mix, because I think of all the Rajasthan teams, and I cannot think of anyone but Rahane who has had any, I suppose, Bana around him or a big player. It's always been, if Sanju's there, then he's the young captain, and I suppose in a lot of ways he can be influenced. If they bring in someone like Ashwin, he is going to take control of the team. He is going to be a leader, and he's going to take over a lot of things. And is that a good thing? Is that something they need? So lots of questions.